Kosame. Kosame ban. Mod pick. And Kosame pick. $15 Kosame. And a ban. $10. Kosame 2 picks. $10. Kosame. And one more pick. There we have it. Oops, and here we go. We will get these switched around. And there we go. We have game 3 kicked off. On You have the mod team on the left side of your screen. We have the Namu Puno on the right side of the screen. And with that, we are going. Now that we do have the Kestrel and the Rhyme, I'm not surprised to see both of those. Amato, his strongest hero is the Kestrel, and Kestrel is also one of the strongest laners in the game. We have the Petal Sky. Mizu's going to be on that Sky. Bits is going to be on the Petal. Both very strong heroes. Petal, one of the strongest laners, junglers in the game. It's a very strong counter to Kestrel too. As we see, the Rhyme and the Kestrel both get rooted. That is the power of Gumpy. He knows how to use that Impale. The Petal is just focusing on the Kestrel. She knows if she has those seeds onto the Kestrel that she can't do anything. Meanwhile, a big forward barrage is coming out to Rhyme, and that's a first kill going on to that Sky already. It looks like the sky is going a mix of a crystal bit and a weapon bit. We'll have to see what she ends up going. Perhaps it's not clear if this is going to be who's going to be weapon and who's CP. I doubt that the mod team is going to go double CP here, even though that is Petal and Sky are strong on both. They're both strong on CP, but the Petal weapon power is going to be perhaps coming out. We'll have to see what ends up happening. Meanwhile, Rhyme is going for an invade. Rhyme does get the steal away that first healing treant, but a huge two-man root coming out from Gumpy. He gets him just with the tip of his spear, and the chase on Sky. Rhyme got the forward treant there, but two heroes died. It's looking like that's going to completely not be worth it. It is a 1 K gold lead in just 2 minutes. So that is 600 gold per minute in the first 2 minutes of the game. Um, that is already a disaster. Perhaps the side of Namu Taipuno was fighting where they shouldn't be fighting. They should understand their comp is a little bit better. Perhaps the Kestrel's down, if the Kestrel's ready to come down, and she didn't rotate there, so two more kills went over to the side of the mod team. Now Petal's just going back to her lane. She's content to farm under tower. They understand that they need to get the Sky ahead here. The mod team understand that. It's another smooth rotation down, but it looks like the Kestrel's rotating a little bit earlier. Um, and there we go. Once again, another bit of farm is stolen away. This is a little bit of a 2v3 unless the Petal decides to rotate down. But Namatai Puno decides that they've had enough of dying. They're rotating back into the lane and back into their jungle. Meanwhile, Gumpy and Mizu together are going to try to steal away some of that front camp. But Kosame, with an unbelievable pull over the wall, he steals away that healing tree and just to deny a little bit of gold onto the side of the mod team. Meanwhile, the gold difference has just about turned down to 1K gold, so Namu Taipuno is not falling any further behind. They're staying about equal for the last minute and a half, so that's a good side for them. Um, we know that Sky just gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on, and Weapon Pedal scales a little bit stronger than CP Pedal does, I would say. However, with the Rhyme is going to be extremely tanky. It looks like the win condition for the side of Namutai Puno on the B side is going to be try to get picks with that Yates early. Yates is going to be the one that falls off most in this entire game. Lance is just going to have utility with those Githian walls, with those roots and the impales. Um, Meanwhile, the weapon power Petal can put out obscene amounts of damage if she just gets a couple of items. Her trampoline does provide a buff to all of his attacks and also an attack range buff for the next couple of seconds after using her trampoline. And meanwhile, Sky with that lock-on damage, the forward barrage. Once Sky gets a couple of items, you don't really want to mess with a CP Sky at that point. So Kosami on this Yates is going to have to go for pulls. They're going to have to go for picks early, possibly into Kestrel traps, possibly into the chill winds of the Rhyme to get roots down. Um, but we're gonna have to see if they're able to execute on that, or if they just get into the late game and the mod team is able to just pull away with this one. Um, the gold lead seems like it's not moving too much right now. Mod team, they're doing a very good job of rotating together in jungle, making sure that all the minions that are taken, they're sharing gold with somebody, right? So sometimes Gumpy's down there in jungle, sometimes Bits is down there in jungle on that pedal. So they're sharing gold pretty effectively. Meanwhile, this now Taipuno is not doing quite as a good job of that, and that's where most of this gold difference is coming from. It's just from that little bit of extra ambient, a couple of the kills, yes, of course, but as they continue to pull ahead, it's that sharing of gold that can those little differences that make all the difference as you start to move into the mid and late game. And here we go. The people are just rotating up to lane. Kestrel throwing out a few of those arrows. Pedal hitting level 6. The level 6 is not such a huge power spike on the weapon power pedal, besides that ultimate offering a little bit of slow. But pedal already does have the Sorrow Blade finished. Um, and the gold mine is started for the side of the mod team. I'm not sure. Yes, they do know. Now Typhoon know that this is going on. The gold miner still is at, well, about half health. We'll see what happens. And there we go, a huge root coming into the stun from land, coming into the death room above on the sky, which is able to lock down the rhyme, and he's already down. He's dead. The Sky still at half health. Amato's completely by himself. He's trying to output damage, but it's just not enough. That is two kills. They're gonna also just turn that into the gold miner as well. So the mod team gets two kills. They get the gold miner. Um, they're getting a little bit of the Namatai Puno jungle. They understand they can't get the whole thing. Uh, their one shot, one kill does come out. They attempt to get the gold miner taken. They're taking their time, but eventually it comes through. That's 1,200 more gold. Um, it looks like the gold difference has gone up to about 4,000 in 7 minutes. So that's just exploded in the last minute and a half to 2 minutes of this game. Meanwhile, Amato's doing everything that he can to try to take down that turret, which he does. That's good. That's going to open up the map a little bit for the side of Namu Taipuno. Um, Meanwhile, we do see Sky buying the first infusion of the game. It's a little bit early. Sky's a little bit caught out, and she gets pulled and stunned. And there we go, absolutely exploded. That went perfectly. She shut down. It's a big shutdown gold. The only thing that could have gone better is to try to get that shutdown gold onto Amato on the Kestrel rather than the Rhyme. But that's not that big of a deal as long as it doesn't go on to the Yates. It does go on one of the carries. Mizu maybe feels a little bit bad about that one immediately after buying an infusion and then just going down instantly. Perhaps that will cause her to be slightly more cautious in the jungle as this game moves forward. There we go. Good flaring by Kosame on the Yates to make sure they understand whatever. And there's another pull coming through on Mizu. Mizu is forced to use her block on that Sky, but Gumpy Guppy gets a huge Githian wall on that. Lance, Yates is able to just ult away. Are they going to continue to chase this? They are. They have slows come through, but this might be a little bit too deep. Kosame gets the fountain through. He uses it mostly for himself, which is not what you want. Um, the mod team is pretty low. What can the Rhyme do? The Rhyme is now just absolutely by himself in 1v3 with the Crystal Miner. He's not going to be able to do this. The positioning is too good on the mod team. It looks like Mizu's just testing what she can do. Greg is just living absolutely forever, and he lives long enough that the ace doesn't even come through. Now, Mod Team is going to have to be extremely careful. Sky goes down. The one shot, one kill comes through. Eventually, Lance does get the kill onto the Rhyme. Um, Kestrel was not up quite in time to rotate through to try to help out with some of those kills, and that was a bit of a win for the Mod Team, but not a the Nabatai Puno did get a little bit of kills back, not a complete disaster. However, the gold lead now is 5K in 9 minutes, which is a pretty impressive gold lead in threes. If Nabatai Puno doesn't start to turn this back around and get a couple more kills, share the gold, maybe get this next gold miner, that might spell the end of this game already, just because of the gold lead difference. Okay, now there's a giant wave being pushed under. Kestrel just can't take this in time. She doesn't have any energy. With that, a huge mispositioning error done by Amato. As the turret was going down, he should have understood he needed to just back off. And with that, both Kosame and Amato die. Uh, the Rhyme just is trying to walk back. He's trying to clear this wave as best as he possibly can, but a second turret is going to go down. And now Rhyme is pushed up a little bit, but the bottom team decides to just back off. They're deciding to go right onto this second gold miner. We'll see if this is contested. No, a one shot, one kill comes out. It was a pretty valiant attempt, but it does not connect with anyone except for the Sky. The Sky was not low enough to be killed by it, and that is 1,200 more gold going to the side of the mod team. This is starting to look like a pretty big snowball. A couple of those last team fights were bit close, but now as the snowball grows and grows, the mod team is able to exert more control over what they want to do on the map. They go right in, take the Crystal Sentry. They don't care that this is going to be a 4v3. The Petal's throwing her ult in just for the slows. And there we go. The Rhyme goes down. Petal is just absolutely focusing the Rhyme. Next, they decide to focus the Kestrel. Yates is the only one left alive. He's able to ult away to prevent the ace, but that is not much of a consolation prize when both of your carries are getting absolutely blown up while the Crystal Miner is there. To help your team out. That means that in a full team fight, you're not going to have much of a chance. 8K gold lead now in 11 minutes. At this point, I think that the Namu Puno team, pretty much all they can do is sit back, wait for a pick, try to get a pick out on somebody, hope maybe pedal because she doesn't have a block. Um, use the Yates pull on her and blow her up. Amato decides to just go in hard against Mizu. Mizu, understanding how far she is ahead, dives deep. This is just a giant 1v3. Gumpy is able to rotate in just in time to save her. The one shot, one kill comes out in the middle of the team fight. However, now it's Gumpy who's a little bit caught out. Gumpy and Sky both extremely low. Finally, the pedal is here to come in. Rhyme walking in. Yates completely misses his pull. The stone also doesn't come out. Amato still full health. Yates goes down. Castro goes down. It looks like Rhyme's going down too. That team fight was just played absolutely perfectly by the Mon team. Um, they're very, very ahead in gold, but even so, if the execution on that, where Sky, it seemed like she was going a little bit too far, a little bit too deep, but then at the end of the day, Gumpy on that lance was able to show up and protect with those Githian walls, getting the stuns, the roots on the impales, and at the end of it, pedal comes in, and then once the pedal shows up with that weapon power damage, that's something you have to really respect. Um, and the two carries go down once again on the side of the now Puno. At this point, it looks like they're just going to take Kraken as long as this doesn't get stolen. They gave it a one shot, one kill try. It did not get stolen. At this point, they're just going to take the Kraken, march through the jungle, push with Kraken, and the mod team here is hoping to just get a win within the next 30 seconds or so with this Kraken push. There would have to be a pretty big mistake coming through for that not to happen. Perhaps Kosami is going to go for a pull. As this game gets later and later, the Yates drops off a little bit. So he needs to try to do this soon. He tries to pull for Gumpy. Gumpy knows exactly what's coming. He uses his Githian wall to block the pull. That puts that down a 10-second cooldown. Um, and now the Kraken's marching in, which is going to be in the way. And the Nawatai Puno understand that they're very far behind. They're just holding back and trying to do damage onto this Kraken while they can. The stun is blocked with a Crucible. The Yates stun is blocked with the Crucible. Now the Yates is just being chunked down. He's the tankiest one on the entire team, and he's just absolutely chunked. Ryan puts himself into the thick of it just where he wants to be, but Kosame has already used just about everything on his team uh, in order to not die. And now the Kraken is just beating down the base. It's just a Rhyme and a Yates alive. Rhyme has to continually go back to base in order to get health back. And there you go. That is going to be the game in about 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Game one goes to the Mod team.